Do you have a minute to share of what it is that brought you out
always
today?
got time to share.
Awesome, cool. My name's Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, I'm an independent journalist. Actually, this is the first time that I've decided to do something like this. I don't stand on either side of the fence, gentlemen, so we'll lower our defenses real quick. I just wanted to talk to everybody to see why you come out and stand on the side of the road with a flag today. Like, where is your principles with all of it? You know what I mean?
Well, it's pretty simple, I think. What Trump stands for, what he does, and what the other side stands for. And there's no question in my mind that if we don't get Trump in, we're in big trouble.
So what do you think that Trump is going to do? Like, what do you mean? Do you care to evolve on it,
He did it his first 4 years. He said something, he doesn't. And he said a lot of things right now. I mean, people don't watch the news to see what he says. I mean, we're talking taxes, immigration. I mean, you name it. He's for you and me. They aren't. It's simple and easy as far as I'm concerned.
So, like, people all on the left, they're just...
I don't think so. Anyway.
It might not be all of them on the left, but the people
all.
you have in office right now, I have grandsons and sons, and I don't want them in another war. And it's pretty close to it right now.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't see no reason to be going over there fighting war.
You're referring to, like, Israel and Ukraine and all of that?
Through it.
Thank you for your service. When did you serve?
In the 60s.
60s? Vietnam? Yeah? Well, I appreciate your service. Thank you. So, from your perspective, how has the world changed from then till now versus the conflicts that we're involved in? Because, I mean, I've spoken with a lot of people who were in Vietnam. They didn't quite understand how it all panned out the way that it did. And now we're kind of
Nobody does.
We're doing almost the same thing. We're in Israel, and yeah, it's interesting.
If you have the left was in office, it's in office now. We didn't have this trouble 4 years ago. Everything was going along pretty good. The country is in pretty good shape.
Well, what do you? I guess 4 years ago. I mean, I have to bring up. What are your viewpoints on what happened with the COVID-19 pandemic and all the lockdowns that went on with all of that?
Were you locked down? We weren't.
No, nobody put a chain on me and told me to stay. But these were the social practices. You know what I'm talking about. Obviously, it was a huge hamper. I mean, we can't go to our grocery stores 24 hours and everybody looked at you sideways if you wore a mask or if you didn't wear a mask. It was weird, right? There's a big division that happened here.
But in hindsight, it was all pretty stupid. I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're going back to it right now. They're going to start telling you to wear another mask and everything. You can see it in the wind.
There was a lot of masks in the wind, too. Like, there's garbage all over the place, like legitimate pollution, not just a play on words there.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. What brought you out here today?
We're Trump supporters. We need to get this country back to what it's supposed to be, a free nation, with laws and, a secure border and this inflation. Somebody's got to do something about it, and I think that he is the one that can. Can change this country back to where people can have a job and bring home enough money to support their family. And there's laws in place, taking care of people that are, criminals and not just letting them go. And just, there's so many reasons.
Are you talking about like the catch and release program that's happened?
Yes. I think that that's ridiculous. So there's a lot of reasons that I believe that Trump would be the best fit for the president. He did it once, and I think he'll do it again.
So what do you think that he's going to be able to do this time around that's going to encapsulate that vision? Like, how is he going to...
He's going to finish the wall, keep all these, immigrants from all over the country that, a lot of them have criminal backgrounds. He's going to, stop that. And I believe that he's a businessman. I believe that there's somebody that has enough business knowledge that can turn this economy around. Inflation is horrible. How people with 4 or 5 kids can support them, I don't even know.
It's a struggle. It's an absolute
Yes.
struggle these days. Absolutely.
So that's why I'm here, just as, you know.
Sure, I got you. So what do you think about the allegations that happened with him, with all the Supreme Court cases? And I mean, he's been indicted now how many times?
I think that the left was out to get him. I still think that they are. I believe that he does win. If he does win, they're going to go after him again. But just like that day that he got shot in the ear, fight, 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 and he's not a quitter. With everything that's happened to him and all the allegations that nobody has proved one thing, he keeps on going, and he doesn't have to. Think about it. He never took $1 for being president. He's not in this for the money. He's lost, if anything. So,
See?
all right?
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
We're
What brings
out
you out here
here
today?
supporting the man that stands for the United States, that cares about people, that's going to bring our economy back, that's going to make America great again.
So what does that statement mean, though, to you? Like, make America great again. What does the vision of America being great, when was that?
When we're energy independent, when we weren't trillions of dollars in debt,
Yeah.
and when people could afford to put food on their table, and a lot of other issues.
I see. Is there anything else you care to share?
No,
That's
it
okay.
for now.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Sure.
Do you guys want to talk about what you're doing out here today?
Hey, where are you guys out of? First of all, you guys out of Peoria?
No. We both live here in town.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. I don't work for any media company. I work for a cafe downtown called Good Morning, Good Day Cafe.
I know where
you
you're
know
at.
Tony?
I know Tony. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Good.
Tony's my boss.
All right.
We just kind of came up with this idea when we had we're going through on both sides here. Everybody's talking about how media is slanted, right?
It is. Very.
That's a problem. That's
Yeah.
a huge issue. At least personally, as far as I'm concerned.
It
So what I
is.
wanted to do out here today was get people to talk candidly, without fear of having your words used against you or anything like that. I'm not interested in trying to make a mockery of anybody's beliefs. I want to document it. You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
So I'm
But
Dave.
I'm Ron Fialco.
Pleasure to meet you, Ron.
Born and raised here all my life. Love our town, but these small towns and how this economy, what it's doing to even businesses, it's crushing them. They should be here to straighten this up, and I think it's Trump. Who else you going to vote for? Kamala Harris got the same as Biden. It's the same mold. What's her playbook? She won't tell you how she's going to fix anything. Trump does. Tells you how he's going to do it. He has no problem talking to the news media. She wants to dodge questions and avoid it. So I don't know how you can vote for somebody if you do not know what they stand for.
So a lot of what I watched the town hall thing that Trump did the other night,
Me too.
where I don't think it was necessarily dodging of questions. I think it was more of a trying to break the ice sort of thing.
Sure.
But I mean, there was music that was played for like a half hour. I didn't really hear. I haven't heard a whole lot of discussion of policies or where his plan lies in with it. Would you care to educate, if you were speaking to somebody on the other end of the spectrum,
Which I do.
what would you say to them as far as what?
How Trump's gonna?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you, one, Trump's a businessman. This country is like a business. We got the most richest assets here in the United States of America throughout the whole world, and you got to run this like a business. And he's a businessman. He's gonna drill. He's gonna bring down oil prices. I used to be a truck driver, and if I could put fuel in my truck from $1.87 to $4, I gotta pass it along to you. So if I bring that down, then that brings everything down, and that makes it comfortable in any town or any state you live in to afford to live. That's just common sense. The higher everything is, the higher it is for everybody else. Our wages, they say, yeah, our wages are going up, but not to keep up with inflation. So you got to bring that down. And that's how you start being energy independent. Not trying to pass, I'm all for the planet, and then to save the planet, what have you. But you got to give people an option. You just can't say by 2035 you're going to go all EV. You just can't do that. You got to have that choice. And down the line, yeah, maybe you can go all electric. Right now, we don't have the infrastructure for that, and they don't talk about that.
Right.
So once you bring down the inflation, starting with fuel, then everything else will follow suit. I can deliver my goods to you a lot cheaper, to
Yep.
you, and you can pass that along to the American people. But
Yep.
what is her plan, the Democrats' plan. Now, I've been a Democrat all my life. I'm union. I retired. But I changed once I noticed what Trump was speaking and what I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, this is what I've always wondered how somebody different would do in office. Wow, he done remarkable. So I started transferring my house, what I wear, to support Donald Trump. And how many rallies out there do you see for the Democrats? I haven't really seen nothing.
Yeah, me neither, actually. That's kind of something that I'd like to plan on covering as well. Like
but cover the other side as well. And I'm always open for a debate with that. Because I was a Democrat. I've always voted Democrat. But I was a union. That's what we did. Now you see the unions are starting to turn the no vote. The Democrats always relied on the Democrat, the UAW. The president says that they're going to go ahead and we stand by Biden or Harris and Waltz. My 722 Teamster says we ain't voting for nobody. And the Democrats didn't even invite the head of the Teamsters to speak. Trump did. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I didn't.
That was awesome. Look that up. That was very actually. I got that on my phone. And that took that guy a lot of, what I want to say, mud in the face, because he's like turning on the Democrats and turning on, because that's what we were told to do. Vote Democrat, you're union. That's why I got high-paying jobs.
I grew up in a union household, so I remember.
But the way I look at it is you don't need a union. Well, now you do because of the wages and inflation. But back in the day, you didn't have to have a union. You had the American dream. You can do whatever you want. Run a business, less regulation, you can make it. You don't need a union to protect and to give you money to survive. You can do that on your own. Now, it's good luck trying to run a business. You can't do that. It's just too tough. My daughter runs a business here in Streator, the Broadway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They struggle. They're always jockeying prices because the cost of everything.
Oh, the cost of food is insane these
days. And they got to pass it on to you guys and pass whatever comes in. They can't just give it away. So anyway, I think Trump's got a good message, good plan. Were you better off 4 years ago than you are now? You only have two choices. That's it.
Right.
So I think Trump is the answer. I think he will find a way to bring things back, probably not as good as it was, but better than it is, because we're just too far. I think our country right now is too far gone to bring it back in 4 years. Maybe I'm wrong, but look what's going on. Look at all that money. Look how much we owe everybody. Look how much we're in debt, our country.
Yeah, the United States debt is at an astronomically high level. Not to mention, I mean, our allocations of funds are also kind of questionable.
And look what the money they give to Ukraine, Israel, the money they hand out to everybody, and they can't even take care of the American,
So there's like a general feeling of,
I don't mind helping out other countries. Put United States of America first. We're number one. We're the higher dog on the food chain. When countries go on, who do they rely on? Us to help them out. And we can't even help out our own people. Look what's going on with these hurricanes. That's sad. FEMA running out of money. They give it to all these illegal immigrants. Part of it that's coming across. Everything needs to be done the right way. Legal. And I don't care. We need immigrants to work here. I get that. But you got to do it legally. You got to vet people. You want another 9/11?
What about people who end up seeking asylum? Like, if it's just so violent and insane, I mean, a lot of the cartels down in Southern America and Central America, I would not stick around for that either. I mean, especially if I had a wife and kids, I would be wanting to try to protect them and go to what is the land of opportunity.
Which is this. But you've got to come in our country the right way. Every other countries out there, they're by borders. Try to get in these other countries. They got strict laws that come in their countries as well. We need that the same way. Because if we keep doing what we're doing, we're not going to be the best country. We're going to be a third world country. We can't keep sustaining all these people coming over and giving them free stuff. We can't do that. So you've got to do that. You've got to shore up that wall and do it the right way. And it's this our whole country. Everybody that knows politics and follows politics knows that we're a country of immigration throughout the years. We've always had it. But it's really worse now than when it ever has been. So that's my opinion on it. A lot of my friends in the neighborhood say the same thing. Obviously, look at the crowd we have here. And even other rallies. I've been to a Trump rally in 2020 out in Indiana, or Iowa, at the airport.
Yeah.
Insane, the amount of people. So it's like, you see all these rallies, and it's like, American people, they know what's going on. They're no dummies, So anyway, hopefully things will work out.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Today.
Sure. What you got?
I'm an independent journalist. I live here in town. Literally, we picked up a microphone and a camera and decided that we wanted to document things because all I hear from both the left and the right is nobody covers it correctly, nobody gets it straight.
Okay.
So that's what we want to do.
Okay.
Is that cool with you?
Cool with us.
Okay. You rolling?
Good.
So my name's Dave. What's yours?
My name is Ginger Walter.
Hi, Ginger. So what
Nice.
brings you guys out here?
We are out here spreading awareness. Let's vote for Trump. Let's make a change. We're also here, if somebody's not registered to vote yet, we'd like to help them register online. They got till October 20th.
Yep.
And we just want to support Trump.
Okay, so what changes and policies do you stand by that he's going to bring to the table?
Well, first of all, he's going to close those borders. That's number one. Number two, the economy. The gas prices are high. The groceries prices are high. People are hurting bad. He's going to change all of that.
Okay, and again, keep in mind I'm unbiased when I ask this next question. So a lot of what I hear is when food prices go up and the economy is happening, we flooded the system with trillions and trillions of dollars when COVID happened because they started sending checks out to anybody. I mean, is that...
Well, I personally did not get a check.
Me neither, for the record.
For the record. So, Trump was in 4 years ago, 2016 to 2016 to 2020, and we were so much better then. These last 3.5 years, we are tanking fast. And we got a president that does not care about the American people. Trump cares. He doesn't even have to run. He's got more money than all of us put together here. I wouldn't do it. So I'm so glad that he's stepping up because he cares about America.
Okay, all right, cool. You guys want to share anything?
I just want some policies. Camilla's been hiding from everybody, and she has no policies that she stands behind. Anything that she does get asked, she dodges it. And how come she has not been out campaigning or even talking to the people? Let alone, I think the numbers are off just for the consideration that how can somebody be in contingency to win when she hasn't even been out and she did one debate and she screwed that up. So at the end of the day, she has no policies that she's talking about when Trump's talking about foreign policies and stopping Israel and everything else. What she got? She don't have nothing.
Okay, all right, cool. Is there anything else you care to share?
No, that's about it.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks, guys. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.
We're gonna win! We're gonna fight! We're gonna win! We're gonna fight!
This guy. No, hang on. I gotta ask you a question.
Win!
Oh, I like it.
I like your eye patch.
Thanks, man.
Are you a pirate?
No, I just have multiple sclerosis. I'm blind. It looks pretty badass, though. No, don't be. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start carrying around a Crown Royal bag filled
Who
with
you
gold
guys with?
dollars. Myself. We're a couple of dudes that live here in Streator.
You're in it. Oh, okay.
We don't work for anybody, and I guess we're independent
So what
journalists.
do you do with this film?
This is an idea that we had about a week ago. We had heard that this thing was coming down, that there was going to be a Trump rally here in Streator, Illinois, of all
Okay.
places. So it got me and him thinking, well, let's document this. Let's see. I want to talk to people. I want to see what is going to bring people out here to stand with Donald Trump today.
Well, I got more for you.
Go ahead.
Next Saturday, there's going to be a big caravan. It's going to start up at Salmonock. It's going to go clear around, going to over by Peru. It's going to come back probably on 51 through Leonore, and then back into Streator. And then it'll go back to Ottawa to the Republican headquarters.
So what does that stand for? Like, what is the message
It's a
here?
Republican caravan for Trump.
So what would you say to somebody who is hardcore liberal and you want to convince them to vote for Donald Trump?
I would tell them that are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I rest my case. If they're not better than they were 4 years ago, then all they got to do is look at it. Gas is high, food is through the roof. It just go right down the line.
Gas prices and food is definitely just way more expensive than it's ever been in history. Right.
And
right.
you know, when Trump gets in, what's he gonna do? Drill, baby, drill, baby. They're gonna drill. So just and tell me, I seen Brett Baer, and he did Kamala last night. She don't know nothing. She doesn't know nothing. She's never been elected by the people for the positions he's running right now? What happened to all them people who voted for him?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, she was on the ballot with Joe Biden.
And now she's telling everybody out there, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, but she really doesn't tell you much. And then Brett Baer says to her, says, well, why didn't you do that 3.5, 4 years ago? Why didn't you do this stuff then? Because they're trying to ruin our country. And that's the big deal.
So
why would you want to vote for Trump? Trump is for our country. He's going to give us our country back. We've lost it.
To who?
Huh?
To who? I still live here. You still live here. I can still wave those colors just like you can.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We're people that understand, and we're here to try to win our country back. You want to know the people? Go to Washington, D.C. Go to the liberal states. I'll show you where the ones are that, they don't care. They could care less.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
a fact, Mike.
let me take you into Chicago. They don't know what's going on. You got a mayor up there that's liberal. A lot of these mayors are Marxist. And
Marxist, you mean like communism?
Like communism, yeah.
Interesting. So a lot of times I hear the term like fascist get thrown around at both parties.
I don't
both
use
times.
fascist.
Thank you. That's good, because that shows me at least you know a little bit of what you're talking about here today. You know what I mean? No insult intended.
But I do know communism when I see it. And it's
yeah.
And if you want to really see what's bad with the country, go on into Washington and I'll show you all those the people that work for the government.
All right.
And then here, what else we want? We want our government back. We got to get rid of somebody like this Attorney General. This guy is a lawfare. I'll take you down. What have they done to Trump? They've charged him with everything they could, and he's still standing. And you know what? Trump's the only one that's taken a bullet for us.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it was Kennedy. All the other presidents.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in our lifetime.
That's very big. Yep.
And I mean, speaking of the Kennedys, now we got a Kennedy that's backing Trump.
I saw that. He switched his tune real quick, didn't he?
Yeah. And I mean, you got a lot of Democrats that are saying, this ain't the party that we ever belonged to. And that's why people are leaving it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and I see that too from both sides. And
so
it's really interesting.
Who will see this stuff that you're doing? You going to put something together for it?
Yeah. We're making our own website. We're gonna do something legit with it. The idea here is to.
Well, nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Thank you for your time.
I hope it works out well for you.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
There's plenty of people here that can tell you the same story.
I want to get an interview with Trump over there.
There you go.
See what he has to say.
All right. Well, Trump's got a lot of stuff to say.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
My name's Dave DeMoss. We're independent journalists. I literally do not work for anybody. I decided to do this by myself with my buddy Murph here. One thing I hear all the time is that on the left and the right, media always lies. So what do you do? It's the same reason why I play bass in a band. It's because somebody has to do it, and I'd like to have it done right.
If you're good with the media will treat you good. You can't badmouth the media. You respect them, and they'll respect you back.
Hey man, that's what I'm doing
The art
here.
of gratitude. You send a thank you. You put a picture of me online, I'm going to send you a thank you letter.
Do you want to share a couple words of what's going on here today?
This is my life-size Kamala crow I made.
It looks starkingly accurate
It's
too.
not evil, it's just normal. Her face is made out of a recliner. I used the regular skull mask, and you can feel it underneath. And then when I went over it, I used microfiber from a recliner. In 2016, I made the original Trumpkin that went viral all over the world. So these ladies called me up and asked me if I wanted to be a part of this thing, and it's like, well, I will do it.
So what's your views on this whole situation then?
I think it's a bad media blitz, because it's whoever owns a certain media will get those lobbyists to print whatever and say whatever about you if they don't like you.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
if one side of the fence is Republican, they're going to badmouth the Democrats. You know what? We're just American people. All we want, hey, bring down the price of milk, bring down the price of meat, make things easier. It's
pretty
like
simple.
It used to be that way.
It's pretty simple issues, man. And like I said, I mean, I'm non-biased. I'm out here just documenting because
And
something's got to.
I'm with the abortion thing, I look at it two different ways. If my wife was dying because she had a medical issue, I'd say go ahead because I want my wife. She can have another kid. But on the second end, on the other side of it, you're going to have 10, 20 abortions and let the state and the taxpayers pay for it. It ain't fair. It ain't fair to the people.
I don't think it's a covered expense, is it?
Huh?
I don't think it's not a covered expense
It's
under
not a
state
covered
insurance.
expense yet.
You think that's the direction that it's headed, though?
Yes, along with the sex changes for little children, for kids, they're promoting it. We didn't talk about this 10, 20, 30 years ago. You could work in a factory where I voted Democratic, and nobody went that far. And now they're crossing over, and they're both extreme, you know. But my opinion, some of his policies aren't as dark as hers, and that's what I'm afraid
Could you
of.
give me an example?
The gender thing, pushing the gender thing and the abortion thing on them. They act like rape and incest is or the what do they call, there's a term for the medical thing. They act like that's the most important thing, and it's not. They want to push abortions up to 9 months.
I think it was Roe versus Wade that got overturned. That sort of put everything in a big spiral because now it was, you know.
Trump wants to put things to the state level. Let the state decide. His views on it. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. You decide for your state. You decide for their state. And then, you know, that's what they're trying to put across. But everybody wants their groups. If you know, they want the black African American vote. They want the gay vote. They want this vote. You know what? When it all comes down to it, we got one flag. You know, that
It's
we
almost
fight
like-
under and respect. We just got one. That's it.
It's almost like we've kind of divided ourselves into these segments that exist in today's society.
Exactly.
And
That's what's going on.
so it's interesting. We have an identity crisis where it boils down to is that the main point of being identified as an American versus any of the other titles that we give ourselves.
Yeah.
A citizen, a sovereign
Adjectives.
citizen.
Bad adjectives. Oh, this Jew did this. This Palestinian did this. This Christian, you know. No, they're just people. Cut the adjectives out. Cut the bad language out. This guy did this. This woman did this. They're creating hate. They're feeding it. They're driving these people to go out and shoot people.
I see that on both sides too, though.
On both sides. I'm not out here stirring the pot, throwing rocks, or none of us are. That's not our goal.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And that's the way we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be friendly. Let everybody know, hey, you can register to vote here. There's a table over there where we got to get the younger people out to vote.
So what about the Trump won flag? Like, do you think that the election was indeed stolen?
It's the only time in my personal opinion where my wife and I went to vote where we didn't think our vote counted. And it was the truth. It just says, well, when you see everything rolling the way it was, another thing too, when you got states voting the way they vote, everybody does things differently. But when it comes down to a United States presidential vote, it should be one type of machine, one method. Consolidate them, and there won't be any problem. But no, this state does it this way, this state does it that way. Hey, you're voting for the president. There will be it'll be whatever it is decided.
Right.
It's fair across the board.
Yeah. No,
You know,
that's a very good point.
I'm not an election judge. I don't know my views on it. I'm just sharing my opinion.
Right. Well, they
You know?
did the. I ended up getting a mail-in ballot, right? I got a mail-in
I got
ballot.
one of those too.
I went and voted in person. That was it. Now my mail-in ballot, I would hope, is not valid. But let's say if I go to mail that in, there does raise a lot of flags in that situation, most definitely. It was not a normal day in the life of when we have an election, which is normally your polls are open and people can go and vote. That's it.
Yes.
You know. So yeah. I mean, those were weird times too.
Another thing too is the price of food. You go to the store, you spend $100, you don't even get any ground beef in there. You know, people can't afford it. So who do you blame for that? Well, you blame the previous administration on that because that's who's running the show. They're blaming it on Trump. Trump's blaming it on them. I'm saying, hey, they've been in office almost 4 years. Why are we going through this crap now? Why are we trying to deal with it? In areas where people could afford school lunches, it's like 80-90% people living on state lunches because they can't afford. The parents can't give their kids money for lunches anymore. They got to depend on the state. And another thing too is this equality thing where if a person's flipping burgers at McDonald's, they're going to get the same pay as they are in a factory. Is that right? No. My opinion, no, because some of those people, you know, work very hard. The fast food industry was meant for moms or teenagers they needed a job. But now they want the person at a burger joint or a restaurant making the same as somebody else.
Well, I mean, if you look at it too, if the price of food has gone up, the price of gas has gone up, and the person that's working in the factory shouldn't make the same amount as somebody who's working on a grill. The person in the factory is obviously more skilled. Why are they not paying the person in the factory more money so the person who's working the grill can at least afford to live?
And the person in the factory.
See, there's an interesting question.
That one out.
There's no reason why we should raise the wages of somebody who's doing a lower tier job when somebody actually does something that they have to train for, they need skills for, right?
And then the other thing, my complaint is the migrants problem. She did not go down and visit the Mexican border up until the election time. She also did not do anything as far as Florida, like Ron DeSantis, hold her up to her word. Hey, where were you in the last 10 storms? Now Helene hits and you all want to help, you know. Where were you 10 storms ago?
Hey man, one could argue that it's probably just a media frenzy.
We all need to work together to make it right and help people out.
I can agree with that for sure,
but
man.
Everybody's siding with their little lobbyist groups, and that's what it is.
Yep.
Barack Obama was going off on the young black African Americans that you need to vote for Kamala. Well, what has Kamala done for the young black African American? Well, I don't know. Sure ain't treating them pretty good. Ain't treating them equally, you know. And that's stirred up another thing, an issue with me anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely raises some questions. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, man.
I'm a professional artist. In 2016, I met Trump, and I had I created the Donald Trump Trumpkin. Actually, one of them is in the car.
Oh, cool.
And that's the original. It had about 1 million likes on it, and I was on Good Morning America feature. So I did portrait pumpkins of all of the news anchors.
That's
George
awesome.
Stephanopoulos and all of that.
That's awesome, man.
So,
John, where's your Trumpkin? That's what you need here.
The Trumpkin's out in the car. I got the original picture there, but I have another one
Thanks
out in the
again.
car.
I appreciate you talking with me, John.
I'm John Kettman.
Nice to meet you, John. My name's Dave DeMoss.
Nice to meet you, Dave, and I'm from LaSalle, Illinois, but this is where I grew up.
Yeah.
And they asked me to be a part of it, so I thought this is my creativity this year. I created this.
Well, I think it's great.
Thank you.
So I'm out here today just basically asking straight, non-biased questions. What brings you out here today? Why stand on the side of the road and tell people that Donald Trump is the one?
Well, because he's done it 4 years prior. You know, there's a track record there to look at. Are you better off than you was 4 years ago?
Actually, honestly, no. But that's because I'm the one who changed my attitude and decided to work my ass in the right direction. But I'm 36, man, so I had to be in that
So we got to
stage.
work our ass to get our country back in the right direction, don't we?
So what does that mean, though, to you? Like, obviously gas prices are high. Obviously food prices are out of control. But how do you address those without continuing?
Drill, baby, drill.
Oil.
Yeah.
Oil.
Energy. We got nuclear clean energy we can have. There's all kinds of energy we can use. You can't run a factory without energy. You can't run it on a damn windmill.
That's true.
Okay? So what are you going to do about your factories? You can't run it on windmill or solar. You got to have coal. You got to have oil. You got to have nuclear. There's all. We need it all. We need it all. We need the solar. We need the wind too. Why? I mean, do we deprive ourselves as in humanity of being able to keep yourself warm and your family warm? You know, do you want to turn your thermostat way down and freeze because you can't afford that gas bill?
My dad was a union carpenter when I grew up.
I'm asking you a question.
In my childhood, when I was growing up, my dad was a union carpenter. So in the wintertime, when he was laid off of work, that thermostat sat at around 61 degrees tops. That's where it was at. Because you could always put more socks on, Dave. It was fine. No, it wasn't great. I certainly enjoy sitting in air conditioner.
I like to stay comfortable.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So I mean.
But I understand your point. I certainly understand your point. I guess then.
And 3.5 years that Kamala Harris has been in there with Joe Biden. That's her track record too. I mean, there's nothing to vote for her for. I mean, we got the same thing we had for the past 3.5 years, and probably worse. So, I'll come out here and support Trump. I'll tell everybody that Trump's my president.
Cool, man. Thank you. I appreciate you talking with me.
Yeah.
Again, my name's Dave DeMoss.
Dave DeMoss,
Independent journalist.
Who are you with?
Nobody. We're independent, man.
Cool.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, man.
Want to talk?
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? My name's
out,
Dave.
supporting us.
I'm Dan. Hi, Dan. Nice to meet you. Brings you out here today.
Supporting Trump.
What do you expect to see differently should he get elected?
4 more years of what he gave us before.
Which was what?
Prosperity. You didn't have to worry about how you were going to pay for food on the table, how you're going to afford gas to get back and forth to work. It's just, all I can say about this whole mess is simply this. Did you watch the Brett Baer interview yesterday?
I seen bits and pieces, but I did not watch the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing.
I'm non-biased, so to be honest with you, I don't trust either one of them.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know why you would say that, but all right. If you watched Camille, she answered no questions again. She actually got very irritated and angry because he had the nerve to ask her, very direct, and she just refused. Then she started her tap dancing with her. I don't know. I don't understand how anybody in their right mind, after looking at what she said, it's just word salad after word salad after word salad. She has no substantial programs, nothing. She just keeps saying, well, look at my record. What record?
Maybe she's referring to, and I don't know, she was in law, practicing law as district attorney in California.
If she wants to run on her and Joe Biden's record, all I can say is she's effing, period.
See.
But the people that, anybody, like I say, I don't understand how they can keep saying how, oh, it's so close, it's so close. I don't buy that for a minute because I don't believe in these polls.
So, all right, bit of a hypothetical question then here for you. So, because we have so much technology available to us today, because we are able to be closer to people across the country than we ever have been before, we also have a lot of that information that's out there. How would you suggest that we could accurately document all of that? Because if we don't trust the polls, we don't trust the media, what do we do? Because it puts everybody in sort of a cognitive spiral. You don't know who to trust, you don't know what to believe in anymore.
That's what this country has become. You cannot trust the media. You can't. Because they're being, if you take ABC, NBC, all the major networks, are all being ran by somebody because the narrative is always the same. Always. If you're a Republican, if you're Trump, if you're a Democrat, yeah, you can do what you want to do. I mean, just, I don't know how people can just look at this and go, oh, I'm going to vote for her no matter what. And it's like, knock yourself out. I can't dissuade you from doing it, but all I can say is if you want 4 more years of what we got now, and it's only going to get worse, not better, but there's just no way that you can say it's going to get any better. You can't.
All right, Dan. Well, hey, I appreciate you sharing those words with me. Thanks for taking your time to speak with me.
No problem.
Have a good one.
You too.